Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing my Rose Inc products. One of you commented in my last video and asked for me to review their products. I only have a handful of their things, so hopefully that's okay and this is still helpful. But if you have not subscribed yet already, I would love for you to do so. That would mean so much. And let's get into this Rose Inc review. The first product I have here is the Rose Inc Solar Power Luminous SPF 30 serum, and I actually got a little sample size of this and I've used it, I want to say like three maybe four times. I used it again today, but I have to reapply SPF, so I'll be able to show you what this looks like on top of my skin and layered on top of all my skincare, and also on top of one layer of this because I applied this like 2 hours ago or so. And I actually liked this much better than the very first time that I tried this, and like much more than what I remember liking it as. It does have 14% zinc oxide and is this really like thick kind of serum texture. It has terrible packaging. I hate the packaging. It's kind of like a poorly created pipette type packaging. It's just like not great packaging. But anyway, it's this really thick serum consistency, and at first it does give me a white cast, but it does blend in surprisingly well for having so much zinc oxide in it as like the main SPF ingredient. This is applying really well on top of my previous skincare and the last layer that I put on of this SPF a couple hours ago. But this is a very moisturizing SPF. It feels pretty thick on the skin as well. I think if you had dry skin, you would actually really like this. Like myself, I do enjoy how moisturizing this is, but if you had oily skin or like combo oily skin, I even feel like if you had normal skin, this would be a little too much. It would be too thick and kind of like almost greasy feeling, but it doesn't pill. It's not pilling on me right now, and I've been rubbing it in for quite a while, and you can see it hasn't given me a white cast either, which is actually quite surprising being that it has so much zinc oxide in it. So I'm not sure how they did that. I do really like this. I don't know, I feel like there are better SPFs out there. It doesn't super smell like anything, definitely doesn't smell like SPF, which is nice. Again, I dislike the packaging, but I don't know, it's pretty... If you want to try it, I would recommend, because it is very nice and moisturizing, but I do think that there are better SPFs out there. I think I would really like that in the winter time because of how moisturizing it is, but yeah. That is the SPF on my face. I'm just gonna let this sink in for about a minute or two before I put the base product on to make sure that it is all sunk into my skin and like doesn't pill or anything like that. The next product I have here is the Rose Inc Skin Enhance Luminous Tinted Serum, and I remember loving this. I have not used this in quite a while, so I'm pretty curious to see how I feel about it now, but I remember using the ish out of this for like a good month probably, and I just loved it. So I'm excited to try it again and see how I feel. But this has little like pigments suspended throughout the product. It's kind of like the Chanel thing. I've never tried that, but it's kind of like that Chanel product that I think a lot of you might be familiar with. I just like to pick this up with their brush. This is the Rose Inc 3 brush, which they created with the skin tint, and I'll just rub it right onto my face. I know some people complained about this product, I think maybe like clinging to dry patches or something like that. I can't quite remember, but I know that this was kind of problematic for some people and not some people's favorites, but I love this, and I have never had in the past when I was wearing this before issues with it. Again, I haven't worn it in quite a while, so we'll see how I feel about it now, but so far I'm loving it. I just remember really liking the coverage and how it felt on the skin. It kind of feels like water that you're spreading onto your skin a little bit. It feels really lightweight. It never clung to my dry patches, and I just really enjoyed the finish and the coverage as well. And I have the shade 090 or 060. I don't know, because 6 and 9 look the same on the back of the bottle, but I'll make sure to double check that before I post a link, and I'll share my exact shade. This brush also is so soft. and it applies the product really beautifully. Okay, so this is what the face is looking like with the SPF and the tinted serum. This color match is really good for me right now too, and I think it looks really pretty. I think I'll have to powder like right here in the center of my face later, but I'm still really liking the finish of this. I really like this serum. It's as good as I remember it being, and yeah, I think this is so good. I think if you do have issues with this clinging to dry patches, just really make sure the skincare is all good and your face is really hydrated. I think these would work really well together if you did have issues with this clinging to your dry patches, because this is so moisturizing, and maybe that's why they made it so moisturizing, so it works well with this skin tint. I think this is so pretty. I love this so much, and I'm gonna continue using it. I'm glad I revisited this because it's so pretty and I remember how much I liked it. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of concealer, not from them because I don't have a concealer from them, I don't think. I do not have a Rose Inc concealer, so I'm gonna go in with a little bit of the Glossier Stretch Concealer, just under my eyes a little bit. For bronzer, I'm going in with the Milk Makeup bronzer in the shade Baked because I also do not have a bronzer from Rose Inc. I have two blushes from Rose Inc, one in their packaging, this one here, and another one I just bought like the refill of it because they had this wild sale last year, I think during Christmas, or the year before that, I can't remember. I feel like I've had this for a long time and haven't really used it, where it was like you could just buy the blush and not the packaging, and it was really inexpensive. But I think this is the shade Foxglove. Yeah, this is the shade Foxglove, and I just put it in my ColourPop little Sailor Moon packaging. So this is Foxglove, and then the one I have in the actual packaging is the shade Delphine, which is this one right here. I think I'll swatch both of the blushes for you so you can see what they look like on me. So the first shade is the shade Foxglove, and I'll put that on this side. And these are cream blushes, by the way. They're very creamy and thick. They kind of remind me a little bit of the Tower 28 blushes by the thickness. I've only used Foxglove like maybe once or twice, and I can't really remember how I feel about it. I also have this blush brush from Rose Inc. This is the brush number 2, and this is a very pokey brush. I'm pretty sure this is meant for their blushes, but it is so pokey. It's a stipple brush. I probably have to wash it like a few more times to make it not so pokey, but I don't really use this because of how pokey it is, and I have washed it like once or twice already. This blush is really pretty. It doesn't have any shimmers or glitters in it or any luminous pigments. It just looks like a solid colored cream blush, and that shade is so pretty. So this is the shade Foxglove, and then on this side I'll do the shade Delphine. This one's a lot more neutral and peachy on my skin tone. And I'm just wiping off the brush to try and get as much of the other blush color off of this. The shade is really pretty too. So this side is the shade Delphine. It's a very natural, like peachy color on me. And then this side is the shade Foxglove. These are really thick and creamy cream blush, and they leave a kind of satin finish on the skin. I think this dewiness is definitely coming from my base, but when I swatch it on the back of my hand, it's more of like a satin finish, not really a dewy finish. And it does feel a little heavy on the back of my hand, and it does, like, my face feels a little heavy right now too, just because the SPF is like a thick SPF and you need a sufficient amount of it to get that SPF coverage and efficacy. But this whole face kind of does feel a little heavy with all of the products combined. The Skin Enhanced Luminous Serum actually doesn't feel heavy on the skin. It feels like quite watery, but I think in conjunction with the SPF, it just all feels kind of heavy, and the blush is a little heavy of texture as well. So like my face feels like I have makeup on it, but nothing has a smell that I've noticed. Yeah, I haven't noticed any smell that's like obnoxious or offensive, so that's a plus for me. I don't like when my products are scented personally, unless they're like artificial watermelon and they're a lip gloss or something like that. But I do know that the lipstick is scented. This is the lipstick in the shade Persuasive, and this has like a florally kind of scent, I would say. It's pretty light, it's not too offensive, and I can't really notice it, but there is a scent. So this is their satin lip color, like I mentioned, in the shade Persuasive. This is really pretty. It's not my favorite. It's a very classic lipstick, I would say. It reminds me a lot of something I already own, a lot of things that I already own actually, and there's nothing too special about this product. It is pretty and I like it, but I wouldn't like run out and go get it. It's not like novel or anything like that, but it's nice. It has good pigment to it as well. It's definitely not a lip color that needs to be built up to get this opacity. You can just do one swipe and get a full lip color, but I don't know, I'm not a big lipstick girly, so this doesn't really do anything for me. I much prefer like a sheer lipstick balm situation, like the NARS sheer matte lipsticks or the Generation G's from Glossier. Those are like my favorite, but this one is just okay. It's very average to me. It feels like a normal lipstick on the lips, a little bit matter than some of my lipsticks, but not as matte as my other matte lipsticks. It's kind of in between, and I think that's what gives it that satin finish. But yeah, it's pretty. I don't know, nothing too special about it. I'm gonna put a little bit of Foxglove on the side that I have just Delphine on to kind of even out the blush look before I give you a little overview of everything. And I'm gonna powder the center of my face as well. So this is the face completed with all of my Rose Inc products. I'm really loving how my base looks right now. I just feel like it looks very luminous and healthy and a glow from within. I love this cheek color too. The lip is okay to me. I think the shade is really pretty and it's like comfortable enough, but it's just like not my favorite thing. But yeah, I'm really happy with how my makeup looks right now. So a little review of everything. I'll tell you my favorites. My favorite is, of course, this. I'm just reminded of how much I absolutely loved this in the past and why I loved it, and I'm really happy to have revisited it, and I'm gonna continue using it now regularly because I just forgot how much I loved it. It is so good. It's so pretty. I love how it blends onto the skin, and I love how it works with this brush as well. This is the number 3 brush. I think these two in combination are so pretty and work beautifully together. So I would definitely recommend this or this separately and together. I just love them. I love these. And then I really do like the blushes. I know that so many people love these blushes and I see why. They blend beautifully and evenly on the skin and they just look so natural. So I'm happy that I have 2 of these shades and I need to wear them more. I don't think they stand out as much as the Skinn tint stands out to me, but they're really pretty and I would definitely recommend, and I want to use them more in my routines as well. So these are really, really pretty. Really like those. And then I would skip the rest of it, to be honest. I didn't like this brush. I think that a brush should be soft right off the bat. It shouldn't be pokey and stick your face and like, I don't know, be unenjoyable and be something that you have to wash multiple times to get it to be soft. So I would skip the brush number 2, which is a stipple brush. You can find a really affordable, beautiful stipple brush from like Real Techniques or e.l.f. I would skip the sunscreen as well, just because the packaging, I think this would give a lot of people a white cast as well. I think if you're any deeper than me, it would give you a white cast, and I'm shocked that it didn't give me a white cast personally. So I would skip this. I also feel like it's just a little bit too finicky and thick and creamy that a lot of skin types wouldn't like this as well. Like, I think you have to have very dry skin to really like this. I have very dry skin and that is why I like this, but I feel like this wouldn't work for me in the summertime. It still feels a little thick for me here now in the spring, and I would really only like this in the winter time. So this is just like meh to me as well. There are better sunscreens out there for sure, so I would skip this too. And the lipstick is just okay to me as well. I think it's just a fine, normal lipstick, and that's all I gotta say about it. really. So it's a pretty even split among all the products that I own from Rose Inc. 3 that I really like and 3 that I could do without. So that was my Rose Inc. review. I hope this was helpful. If I didn't mention something, or if you have any further questions about the brand or the products that I talked about that I didn't mention during the video, please make sure to leave a comment down below with any of your questions or comments. And if you have tried the brand, please let me know what you think. What are your favorites? Do you suggest any products that I should try that I haven't yet? I am curious about their highlighter. I think that looks very pretty. Hope this was helpful, and I hope you're having a good day wherever you are, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!